thank you all for joining me today. We have the art book that came out yesterday, and we have the Shadowbringers starter set that came out today. And it's a 2-player starter set. We love to see it. We love to see the 2-player starter sets because, you know, 2 people can play them. It is a 2-player card game. I'm very happy that we've been getting more and more of these 2-player sets as opposed to the single-player sets. 1, you get 2 decks so you can start playing with someone straight away. 2, they can normally be a little bit more like themed. So we've got the Shadowbringers starter set. We had the Final Fantasy VII Remake starter set. And then we also had the Knights versus Wraiths starter set. They were all ones that came with 2 decks. Am I missing another one? Head Judge and Nathan. Do you guys remember, have there been 3 or 4 2-player sets? I feel like there may have been 4. That's all of them? Okay. I just made up another one in my brain, apparently. But yeah, so we'll go through the art book a little bit first, and then we'll move on and look at some of the cool cards that we've got. And it's very nice to have new cards because it's unfortunately due to the you-know-what, we've had a longer time between two sets coming out, so it has been a little bit stale, and I'm very excited to get new cards because we've also got the next set, Opus 13, coming out in March. Am I correct in saying March? I believe it's March. Hey Stoey, how you doing? But let's get into it. Also, hello Huantor, thank you for joining us. There was a Ragetus. There was a set that had Kadaj and Aerith in it. Kadaj is a fantastic card. I think I have one. Hang on. I believe he's in one of my decks. Yeah. Where'd he go? I know he's in this one. I want to show him up because I love Kadaj. Ta-da! There he is! Everyone's favorite mummy's boy. Wow, 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 wow. I love him. He's a fantastic card. We've even got Final Fantasy VII music on. How fitting for Kadaj, but how unfitting for the 14 stuff. That's not Tifa, 0 out of 12. We need more good Tifa cards. We need more good Tifa cards. So I'll do my best not to show everything in the art book, obviously. Because we want to keep some of it secret, so you go out and purchase one for yourself. Because it's great, even if you're not into the card game. Just as an art book, if you like Final Fantasy, we're finally seeing like high resolution versions of some of the cards. Because obviously, you know, it's a card game. They come like this size kind of thing. And sometimes they'll release the high resolutions on like the computer, but seeing like a nice printed version of some of the artwork that's been like specifically made for the card game is fantastic. The first few sets of the card game, it used already existing assets, if that makes sense. So assets from the game, 3D models that were used in the game, any promotional material, any artwork made for like cover arts and stuff like that. It's all been like pre-existing stuff, but then starting from, I believe, maybe Opus 6, I think. Opus 6 had its own unique artwork, which was fantastic to see, because Opus 6 gave us Final Fantasy II artwork, like remade and fresh and new, and I was very happy to see that. Yeah, the mix of like the Japanese and English text on pages similar to like this, like the layout's really nice. Like it fills the sheet really good. I was reminiscing about the old days, Head Judge. I was reminiscing of like Opus 3, Opus 5. That was some fantastic Opus. Let's see if I can find that Final Fantasy II stuff. Oh, this artwork of Cecil is one of my favorites. I kind of wish that this Cecil had a full page, similar like this Rosa, because I love this artwork. Yeah, Opus 5 was such a big mix-up, like, of the meta kind of thing. Cecil cosplay when? Oh, I wish. I absolutely wish. Here we go. So this is the Final Fantasy II art that was made. Oh, look at that Firion. I know that everyone else is probably like, look at Maria, and I'm like, look at Firion. Like, oh, I just adore that art so much. It's so good. And then the same artist, I believe he also did the Final Fantasy V artwork for the card game. This Minwu, I've been running this in one of my decks at the moment because it got a full art reprint in Opus 12, and I adore that card. And that's the Bartz I was talking about. So he's from Final Fantasy V, and I love him. He's gorgeous. I believe there were even playmats that were made with this artwork. The Leon artwork is fantastic. You are very correct. He's so handsome and dapper. He looks so roguish. What else have we got? So this was more of the Final Fantasy V art, which is Final Fantasy V is a fantastic game. Please play Final Fantasy V. Rifia from 3. 3 is one of my personal favorites. Final Fantasy 4, I've got... I believe there's Final Fantasy 4 back this way. Yeah, so this is 4 and after years stuff. This is the 4 stuff. That Zemus is so pretty. Yeah, Miss Dragon. Miss Dragon is a fantastic card. Where was Miss Dragon? It's next page, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, the Krill does look a little bit cooked, but it's such a good card. I love it. Crystal Chronicle stuff's really pretty. I remember playing Yuri Chilinka for a little bit too long. Alrighty, let's flick forward a little bit, shall we? This is so chill. There's some Final Fantasy 12 stuff for you later. Here's all the really cute WoF stuff, World of Final Fantasy. Yeah, Yuri Win Water, delete that deck forever. I can understand. I played that deck so much, and even I knew that I was being a little bit gross with it. I'm a horrid boy. Wind Water will always have a special part in my corrupted little heart. I've even used some of this artwork. Like, this is inspiration for one of my D&D characters and stuff. So yeah, even more reason to just buy art books. Look at pretty pictures, you know? Look at pretty pictures. There's some Type 0 stuff here. I like this image as the... Do you guys know the meme picture? Is this a pigeon? It looks like she's doing that. I love this art book and the idea of it so much more than the last art book. The last annual was just printings of the cards. So imagine like this kind of imagery down here, but it was like printed all over the pages. It wasn't like the Masters sleeves. Yeah, let's go back. The Master stuff was so pretty. Let me see if I can get a better thing. But the last art book was literally just, it was just the cards, how they actually look. Oh, Stowie's after that ramen, yeah. When Stowie was up from Tasmania, I took him to one of the ramen places in the city. Let's look at the Final Fantasy XII stuff, and then maybe we'll move on to... Oh, I forgot how pretty these ones are. Oh, hooly dooly. Because these are some of the full arts that they did. That Tonbet is so cute. And Mira looks so good. And then these cards as foils are fantastic. The Final Fantasy XII stuff is really pretty as well. So let's flick through to that. Fallout Gabrantz is so pretty. Oh, so this Ash is the current booster art, or like the box art for Opus 12. And it's so pretty. I love it so much. Yeah, the art book quality is so good. It does only have paperback. There's no hardback version, but I'm not too fussed with that, to be completely honest. Oh, I wonder if I can find the full page of Moogle. Oh, it's so cute! Oh, it's so cute. I love it so much. And then Echo, I played a bunch of Mobius, so I have a special place in my heart for the Mobius stuff as well. I loved Mobius. I think I've got behind me, hang on, where did I put it? Yeah. Oh gosh, that Dragoon card I forgot as well. Oh, I was kind of hoping that Amaterasu would get a big full page, because it's one of my favorite arts of the current full arts, but it didn't, unfortunately. We have the World Championship record. Look. There's our boy. Printed in black and white. There he is. How good. Everyone clap for Robert Meadows. Thank you. Yeah, getting ramen with extra eggs is always important. It'll be so good when we get to have big Final Fantasy tournaments again. There you go, Big Hat Brud. So this here is what the there's some more of the art on the back. This is what the promos came on. Oh, I chucked them over here before. Two times, baby. So these were the promos that came with it. A playset of the Clan Gully. There were some issues with how it was packaged, but they've already confirmed that see how I've got a little bit of a crease there. I was very lucky. Mine are in quite good condition for what I've seen some other people have, but they've already confirmed that they're going to be sending replacements to the stores where you purchased your art book from. So you just head in and pick up replacements, which means it's a bonus. You'll have 6 of it. These ones here, you can do it, you could actually play with them and not worry too much that you're damaging like rare promos. You can just keep the other set all nice and tidy and hidden away. Chuck those back over there. Wow. Alrighty. Let me just chuck this down and we'll move on. A hand model? Oh, hello everybody. Welcome back to my hand modeling tutorials. Let's see, I've got, and speaking of that artwork, here's some of it in practical use. So, without oversleeves, I've been way too scared to use any of these sleeves because I love them so much. I love these sleeves and I do not want to hurt them. But yeah, so if you ever feel like getting into Final Fantasy, you can always get pre-release kits. They come with a promo card. They come with sleeves, so they'll normally have like a set of sleeves like this, and you get a bunch of boosters. So keep that in mind if you want to get like a starter kit that's for your own deck building. Otherwise, starter sets themselves, boop, it's right there. It's in the name. This is what you want to start with. But these are fantastic. It's starter deck time, friends. So I opened mine to have a look at the artwork on the cards. But I haven't really read them yet. I was trying to keep it as a little surprise for myself. So I just hit the camera with my nose, sorry. So these here are the instructions. Ba-bam! You get these whenever you get a starter set. And if you get a 2-player starter set, lo and behold, you get 2. Let's start with whatever's on this side. So the colors in this one, we have Earth Lightning. Lovely. Let's grab out our starter exclusive cards and we'll go through those because there'll be some of these cards that are already in the other sets, but this is a big one that I was excited for. Getting a full art Minfilia is great because I love this card. And that was back from Opus 6, so that's quite a long time ago. Did I miss one? Let me check. Nope. Oh, I love the art so much. I love it. I don't even play Final Fantasy. Like, I've played Final Fantasy 14, and I like it. I'm just not good at it. But I get so excited about the characters now just because of the card game. Let us also grab, ba-bum, oh, at the back here, our beautiful light lady. Alrighty, let's start from the start, shall we? Crystal Exarch. This is one of the full arts that you get. You do only get 1. So if you really want it, you're gonna have to buy 3 starter sets for an entire play set of this. At the beginning of the attack phase, during each player's turn, which is very exciting. So many other of these effects that'll trigger during an attack phase will be either yours or the opponent's. So having it happen on both is fantastic. So during the attack phase at the beginning of the attack phase, each player's turn, choose a forward. It gains plus 2,000 power till the end of turn. If you've taken 5 damage, this card gains when the Crystal Exarch attacks. Choose one forward. If its power is less than the Crystal Exarch's power, break it. So as you can see, if you're on 5 damage, you can combo that with your earlier ability, buffing up your power to give you more of a chance of killing something on the attack declaration. That's swell. We like that. 3-drop 7k on curve. Perfect. Y'shtola cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons. When Y'shtola enters the field, choose one forward in your break zone. If its cost is equal to or less than the number of job Sign of the 7th Dawn you control, play it onto the field. So that's this part up here, this job.
4 months BBY.
Oh, Geordie, thank you so much for the sub. 4 months. TY. You cutie patootie. We're just going through some cards. Are cards over 9,000? Yes. Do I have any? There's none that are in this bit here, but they do exist. I think the highest printed power in the game at the moment is 10,000. So there you go. 9,000! What 9,000? So if you're playing what we call a tribal deck, where you'll be focusing on a lot of the cards having this Scion's job, then you'll have a ton of them in play normally as either forwards or backups. So you'll be able to trigger some fun shenanigans with Y'shtola. Then we have Urianger, an EX burst, 2-drop, 5k. When Urianger, I'm also probably butchering these names, by the way, because I haven't heard them pronounced in the game. I'm just going off how it looks like it sounds, and if I've heard anyone else say their names before. When it enters the field, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. Add 1 category 14 card among them to your hand. Return the other cards to the bottom of your deck. So once again, this is another one that goes with Final Fantasy 14 cards. This one doesn't specifically like Y'shtola, have to be a Scion of the Seventh Dawn. It can just be a category 14 card. So that includes Crystal Exarch. It includes the Oracle of Light. So this one isn't as restricted as Y'shtola, but still great. Thancred, everyone's favorite hot boy. When a job Sign of the Seventh Dawn, other than Thancred, enters the field, to the end of the turn, Thancred gains 2,000 power, haste, and brave. So haste means that it can attack on the same turn that it enters play, and brave means that you don't have to dull it in order to... you don't have to dull it after you've declared your attack. He also has a special, which means you would use a same name card as like fuel for that ability. It doesn't have to be the exact same card. It just has to have the same name. Choose one forward. Deal it damage equal to Thancred's power. So printed power would be 8k, but you could do some fun shenanigans where you would play a Scion. He's now 10k. You can deal 10k to something and still attack, because even though you have to dull for this ability, he would have brave. So you can declare the attack and then use your ability. And then we have the Oracle of Light. This is a light card. The job Sign of the Seventh Dawn forwards you control gain 2,000 power. This boosts Thancred, making it so Thancred has 10,000 for his special. This boosts Y'shtola, making it easier and safer for her to swing and for you to summon stuff from your break zone. But yeah, this card is fantastic. I love it so much. When the Oracle of Light is put from the field into the break zone, you remove it from the game. So instead of it going into your discard pile, you would remove it from the game. When you do so, choose one Scion of the Seventh Dawn in your break zone and just play it onto the field dull. There's no restrictions on what color it is. There's no restrictions on the cost of the card, where Y'shtola was bringing them in depending on how many Scions you had. Oracle of Light just straight up brings it in. It's fantastic. They do take into account some spoilery stuff and choose to name certain characters certain names. So let's grab the next set. I should probably put this in a sleeve. Let's do that first. I'll reorganize these ones because I think I might see if one of my housemates wants to play the starters with me later tonight. Let me grab a sleeve! So I'll need one for this, and then one for Emmett. Ta-da! Snuggy in his new home. Alrighty. Everything I've learned about 14 has been the tiny bit that I've played it and the card game. I'm very excited to make a Scions deck, even though I did hate the Scions deck that came out with one of the other starter sets. But that's only because it was good. Ooh, what's Primal cards? I don't know too much about Chapters, the original card game. So we've got Emmett Selch, is it pronounced? Titiana. I had to sort through the other ones. Philia. Primals are summoned. Oh, well, bosses. I see. Ranjit. And Flick. Oh, so Nail. Nail is the full art in this one. It's a full art non-foil. There is a foil version of this full art, and it was, I believe, the box topper for Opus 9. So if you're a big fan, that's how you can get a full art. Shiny, beautiful full art. And then we have Innocence. Okie dokes. Let's start with Emmett, shall we? So once again, this is our foil full art. Oh, I bopped it. Okay, what do we got? When Emmett Selch, I'm gonna keep saying Selch. You can feel free to correct me in chat and in the comments. When it enters the field, you may pay 4 crystal points. 4 crystal points. If you do so, search for 1 ice backup of cost 4 or less played onto the field. Very fun. I love forwards that allow me to play backups from my deck. I love that. I love it so much. Titania, sorry. It's an A, not an I. Titania. You can only cast Titania if you have a forward. So if you have something else already on the field. Backup monster or summon in your break zone. You can only cast Titania if you have a forward, backup monster and a summon. So you need one of each. That's also before playing this, because you can discard cards from your hand to generate crystal points. When it enters the field, choose up to 2 characters the opponent controls to dull and freeze them. So its restriction is needing one of each of those types of cards in the break zone, but for only 2 cost and 8,000 power, that then also dull and freezes 2 characters on the opponent's side of the field. So not just forwards or not just backups, your choice of any of those. That sounds so fun. I'm a big fan of that. That's great. Philia. Philia is dealt damage by an ability. The damage becomes 0 instead. When it enters the field, deal 10,000 damage to all the forwards, and then Philia deals you 1 point of damage. So Philia wouldn't affect itself because it's first ability, but big board wipe. Big board wipe on a big forward. Its downfall being that it will also deal you a damage. But unlike some other cards that deal you a damage, any EX bursts that would be triggered by this card would still go off. So if you had an EX burst centric deck, you could try putting that in. Just keep in mind that if your EX burst targets something on the field, they'll be dead because of Philia's existing ability. Ranjit. The cost required to cast Ranjit is reduced by 1 for each backup you control. When it enters the field, choose 1 forward the opponent controls, deal it 8,000 damage. That's pretty fun. So the cheapest this could get just from backups alone would be a 3 cost. 3 cost, 8k, dealing 8 damage is alright. You just hate to see this early game unless you really wanted to pay to get that ability. And then we have Innocence. 4-drop 9k. Brave. If you have a card named Innocence in your break zone, Innocence gains 1 fire CP, dull. Choose 1 forward, deal it 10,000 damage. And ice CP, dull. Your opponent discards 2 cards from their hand. This second ability can only be used during your turn. And only once per turn. So even if you find that you have a way to reactivate it and activate this ability again, you can only do the second one. You can only do the second one once. Top one doesn't have that restriction. I really like this Innocence card. I think it's really cool. But I'd have to fit it into... You'd like to fit it into an ice and fire deck. But I feel like even just the fire ability is great. Because once again, being brave, you can declare an attack with it. Then you can use the ability before any blocks. Before any blockers are declared. Ta-da! So that's it. That's the fun stuff. There's a whole bunch of other cards that are in the starters. These ones are all ones that were included in previous opus. So they're ones that you could have gotten from booster packs. These ones here are exclusive to the starters. So if you, the main engines of these starter decks revolve around a lot of the starters. They give you 3, which is a play set, so it's not like you would need to buy multiple starters to be able to have a full play set. It's a little bit strange that they've given you the new starter Emmet and the older Emmet, considering this Emmet doesn't have a special. And similar to Magic's legendary rule, I believe it is, you can't have 2 characters with the same name on the field. So you can't play both of these at once. So that's a little bit strange, but oh well. I guess they just wanted to put more 14 ice cards in the deck. But yes, if you're interested in this card game, please look it up. It's very fun. I like it a lot. And even if you just want to collect it for the cards, I know a bunch of people that are in the trading groups and stuff on Facebook. They just collect the cards, and if that's what you're into, all good. Whatever you want to get out of the game, you can get that out of the game. But yes, thank you for joining me for going through these starters. I like to have a little bit of a nerdgasm whenever we get new cards, because I truly love this card game. I've been playing it since it came out, and I'm so happy. There have been other card games that I've played and dropped a whole bunch in my life, but this is the one that stuck. This is the one that I find the most fun. Thank you, Stoey. Diamond, I was going through the new, I don't have them in the box anymore because I've got them out, but the new 2-player starter set that came out today for the Final Fantasy trading card game. And this one's focused all around Final Fantasy XIV and the Shadowbringers expansion. But yeah, thanks again for listening to me ramble about this thing that I love. Give me 5 minutes to readjust all my cameras and stuff, and then we can move on to some video games.